Welcome to Insights. I'm Eric. I'd like to do a precious metals gold shares review. Uh, I think it's time to discuss what's going on in terms of what we're seeing in energy builds in the gold and silver sector and the frustration that's flowing from there. It's ultimately flowing into the gold shares, and we need to talk about that. I'm sure you as subscribers have been watching this red highlight, which classifies it as a PTD2, which is primary trend decline second degree. It tells us that the primary trend is getting quite old, and old in terms of the time cycle in particular. Price has been higher than this, but the time is still, it's been highlighted red for a while. And the reason why is that it's been up for 25 months, and 25 months is a long time. And we're going to take a look at that. And a 60% return, which it's been higher than that, but the opportunity to take profits in the gold shares is probably past. We're getting pretty close to a flip here, and I'm going to show you why. So let's look at visually at the trend itself. This is the primary trend. The green boxes represent the up phases. This up phase is defined by the length of this green box, and we can see it's relatively long in comparison to the average cycle. The average box can get longer than this, and that's why it's not at 2 standard deviations yet. But it's pretty big box, and that's why the computer's highlighting it red. That's why the computer highlights the cycle 1.37 red, or bolds it red. It's not really standing out yet because it's not above 2 standard deviations, but the time for that is about ready to expire. If you look at the lead M, I highlighted the gold shares quickly here. The price cycle is what we're interested in. The LTCO defines up or down, and we're only 5% above. As soon as this flips down to negative, just like the volume oscillator, which has already dropped below zero, there's not many ticks left here, and we're going to flip down pretty soon. The reason why we're going to flip down has to do with energy. There's no energy build for this, but there's energy builds for gold and silver. We're going to take a look at that here. The gold and silver composite precious metals DI is pinned down to the bottom. This needs to transfer upwards and create a bullish energy build. This is probably not going to happen unless people throw in the towel on the gold and silver, whether that's driven by time or a pretty sharp decline. Either one's going to cause capitulation, and capitulation in the gold shares is likely. I think people really get pessimistic. They get real optimistic, they get real pessimistic, and I think pessimism is coming. And in that pessimism is what's going to drive this higher. I'm also concerned by what we're seeing in the Pro Index and the Public Index. The Public Index is driving to new highs. The public keeps buying away. But the Pro Index is driving and is almost ready to make a new low. And it's important because if we look at the price is still above this swing low here. But if we line this up with the Pro Index, we can already see the Pro Index broke below that swing low, which means there's consistent selling here. It's the consistent professional selling that's going to drive this oscillator number below zero, and eventually it's going to flip this trend into bearish. It's going to reset this, which will be then favorable to restart the process again. It'll start with a nibble, then another flip, and then the markup phase, or the alignment and energy phase. But we're going to have to most likely start the process over because this number is just too big and it needs to start over again at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, count it out. There's a better entry point coming in the majors, and we're going to have to wait for it. The final thing is well, far can this go down? Well, you can use the mining shares weekly reversals. The reversal tab here shows us where here's the majors, and it shows us where the support lies. This is it in graphical form. I would memorize these numbers in the reversal tab or keep an eye on them to find out where they can drop to and what you can look for. I think the light colored greens are definitely possibilities. With even the breakout point, this dark green one reversal could come into play quite easily during a panic sell-off or real capitulation. Again, capitulation is something that we're probably going to need to see in order to shift this low energy build into positive. You may wish it was different, but the gold shares go through manic states. Either everyone's greedier than all get out, or they're ready to throw in the towel and renounce them forever. I do think that part of the frustration phase is that the gold shares will be renounced to some degree. and I think you need to expect it or prepare for it. Seasonality suggests that it could be as March. March tends to be a weak month. It also could be anywhere from May to June. So those are we had talked about those numbers before, and that's what I'm keeping I'm going to see what the matrix says and what the evolution of the trade provides us, but those are kind of a rough guideline of where I expect the plays to come in terms of near-term time frames. So that's the setup for the majors and the gold shares. The juniors are probably close behind or we're going to lead the way down. If you have any questions about what we talked about here, evolution of the trade, the majors, gold, silver, anything, contact me directly at the blog or put some comments under the videos. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We can need some more subscribers. And just in case I post something up there in the future and bypass the blog. There's really not much else to talk about. Keep your eye on gold and silver as well, and because they're all related to one another. I'm sure the dollar comes in there too, but we're going to leave those for separate discussions. Thanks for watching this video, and until tomorrow, we'll have a nice night.